evening. Welcome. This is Tracy Fisher, your host of Paranormal Frequencies on WKDW Radio. I'm on the air every Sunday night at 7:05 p.m. on 97.5 FM. You can listen live on WKDW975FM.com, or you can ask your Alexa to play WKDW and listen on that fine device. Please be advised that my research and any comments and opinions that I make are mine, and they're not always a representation of the paranormal community. Tonight's show, I'm going to be talking to you about another paranormal anomaly known as orbs. Orbs is a term that is typically used by paranormal enthusiasts to describe the circular gray light anomalies that are seen or captured in photographs and on video film during paranormal investigations. They are thought to be manifestations of energy, which is why they're sometimes referred to as a ghost or a spirit. But some claim the phenomenon to be only the result of normal causes, mainly the effect of light reflected by dust, pollen, insects, and other airborne material. However, there are others, like me. While they can be explained away, I do believe that orbs can be very mysterious and hard to categorize, and possibly a representation of spiritual energy. It is not known how or when the belief that orbs represented some form of paranormal phenomenon began, but the late Dr. Dave Oyster of the International Ghost Hunters Society claimed to have invented the term, but unfortunately this cannot be substantiated. We don't know when the paranormal universe began entertaining that orbs denoted the existence of some form of paranormal evidence, when it began or entered the paranormal lexicon. It is suggested that the term orb originated back in the 1990s through several paranormal-focused internet forums and chat rooms. And an alternative term for orb is also called a light anomaly. A light anomaly was believed to be introduced on a British television series called Most Haunted. Both the terms orb and light anomaly were used to describe the moving discs of varying shades of brightness. While orbs or light anomalies were first to show up on digital cameras, they have also been recorded on night vision cameras, typically used by paranormal investigators. Some light anomalies are also found to appear on security cameras inside and outside homes. Some other terms have emerged throughout the years. Light ball, spirit orb, and ghost orbs are among the many descriptions of these unusual anomalies. There are those that propose these orbs represent energetic emissions of angelic or otherworldly beings. There are those that claim these orbs can demonstrate intelligence and can actually respond to requests and instructions from investigators. I have had experiences of capturing these light anomalies on my own digital camera and infrared night vision cam during an investigation. Well, the first time wasn't an investigation, but I was participating on a walking ghost tour in Williamsburg, Virginia. And there was a group of us, we were the group tour, and we were all standing in front of one of the many historical homes in the Williamsburg area. I don't remember the name or the significance of the home, but while the tour guide was talking about the house, describing its history, I was taking pictures in front of the house, and it was dark out. It was just past sunset. And after I took the picture with the flash, and I took a quick look at the picture, all I could see were all these light anomalies or orbs that were all over at the front of the house in the picture. And of course, I didn't know if it was dust or it was bugs, but I quickly took a second picture immediately after the first photo, and poof, every piece of orb, dust, light anomaly was gone. Nothing there. I tried to reason and think maybe the dust had settled, but with the number of orbs on the first picture, I found it difficult to believe that they all disappeared in mere seconds. I still don't know if I can claim they were spirit orbs or just possibly a combination of bugs and dust. It's a tough call. But regardless, it was very interesting. Throughout the tour, I took other pictures, and I didn't capture any other orbs in any other pictures, which is why I question the explanation of it being just bugs and dust. I am one that kind of straddles the fence with regard to the argument that it is dust versus a ghostly spirit. I totally believe that it can be both, one or the other. I have watched many ghost hunting programs, and I'm sure you have as well, and I believe I have a pretty good gut feeling of what I think are orbs that don't have any explanations versus those that may be bugs or dust. What I usually base my opinion on, for whatever reason, is actually a spiritual orb, and whether it is dust is the movement. Now, I'm no scientist, and I can't debate about the science of it all, but I typically go with my gut explaining what type of orb it can be. I've watched shows where they swear it's a ghost orb or a spirit orb, and I've looked and said, no, that's a bug, or no, I think that's just dust. Especially if they all kind of many disperse at one time. I usually believe that's when it's dust. Or you can get some investigators that believe every single orb is a ghost. But no, it's not always the case. When I watch a video captured during an investigation and observe the movement, sometimes it is difficult to place it in the dust bug category. Sometimes when you see an orb, take note of its shape. Sometimes you can mistake an elongated shape with wings. Yeah, that's probably a bug. I always observe the orb's movement. If it is slow and purposeful, then I believe it to be some kind of spiritual energy. When they are perfectly round, I reject the idea that it is just dust, especially just one orb. To me, can't be dust. Because to me, dust travels in packs. Anyway, that's my take on it. But I also, with the movement, sometimes if you see it make circular motions in the air, and to me that's more than a bug because it has a strong circular construction. So yeah, I always, when I see that, then I think it's possibly an orb. But there will always be an ongoing debate against the idea that orbs can be considered spiritual in nature. But again, I'm in the camp where not all orbs are created equal. I believe there are a small percentage of orbs that are just not able to be explained away and are always dust or pollen. I believe some orbs are indeed a form of paranormal activity, and the orb is a method that spirits use to gather energy to present themselves as a spirit entity. Experience has shown us that sometimes photos taken while someone is experiencing a touch or when they feel something may contain and or manifestation of an orb. Just recently, I watched a video from YouTube of one of my favorite paranormal investigation teams. They're named the Foreman Brothers. You can catch them on YouTube. They are by far one of the best paranormal groups out there. Anyway, they were investigating a private home, and their video captured several instances where solo orbs showed up on their video. I don't know if it was dust, but it was alone, and the way it moved made me feel that this was possibly a paranormal in nature. The other very interesting occurrence was while Josh, one of the Foreman brothers, was alone in the home investigating, an orb was captured floating into his upper right shoulder. Immediately after, Josh had the sensation he was being touched on his upper right arm. Coincidence? What do you think? Have you ever taken any photos that contain mysterious balls of light? Let me know. According to an article that was posted in GhostStudy.com, a skeptic of orbs was convinced to go with a paranormal team on their investigation to a nearby cemetery. The team brought one of their members who was also a psychic. The psychic prompted the skeptic to take photographs in different areas of the cemetery. While the skeptic was walking through the cemetery, he heard footsteps behind him where no live person was. He turned around and quickly snapped photos. When the skeptic returned home and had those particular photos developed, they all had orbs. No other photos he took revealed any orbs. Historically, orb sightings have been reported in places associated with paranormal activity. For example, the Gettysburg battlefield, which was a site of great death and suffering during the American Civil War. Many orb sightings have been captured there on photographs and videos of tourists. They believe these captured orbs represent the energy of those fallen soldiers that still haunt the battlefield over a century after such a horrible conflict. There have been studies that determine some orbs may appear in a variety of different colors. There have been reports that may indicate electrical energy has been captured in the photographs taken in a laboratory as orb-like demonstrations. An interesting theory by the Galactic Federation that orbs are actually children who never grew up. They believe they come from another galaxy and experience most of the qualities of life that we as living beings here on Earth do. The idea that orbs are related to ghosts and spirits have been defied by researchers based in the UK and the US. These opponents of the claims, they claim these orbs are ghostly in nature, argue that these anomalies are because of an understood process. They believe that small airborne fragments, such as dust, pollen, and water droplets in the form of rain and mist, will cause the light form from an on-camera illumination source, such as the burst, to reflect back towards the image sensor, which will lead to the lights to be blurry and form circles in the final image. White or shades of silver are the predominant color, but they have been known to display a spectrum of colors from red to blue. These orbs are usually associated with the presence of ghosts, spirits, or even angelic beings. Transparent or white orbs are frequently considered to be the most common type of orb. Those orbs are generally associated with positive energy. Some paranormal researchers have expressed they believe these orbs represent spiritual energy that may be stuck or trapped on a plane they don't belong to. Perhaps they are lost souls needing help or sending a message. Red or orange orbs are considered warm and protective spirits. They may represent a spiritual energy of protector or a caretaker, someone who was a guardian during their earthly life and chooses to continue that role in the afterlife. These orbs also represent a spirit full of passion, energy, and anger. Black orbs belong to a more nefarious interpretation. They are usually associated with spirits with negative or heavy emotions. Green orbs are associated with nature and oneness with the earth. Perhaps they represent spirits who never lived on earth, such as deceased infants or spirits that were deeply connected to nature during their earthly lives. Green orbs are also considered to signify healing or fertility. Blue orbs indicate the presence of calming energy spirit. They represent truth, especially if you are seeking answers or trying to contact a specific spirit from the afterlife. It could also be a sign of a spirit bringing peace and tranquility or offering guidance. Purple-violet orbs might suggest spiritual growth and enlightenment. Yellow, gold orbs can be indicative of joy or excitement. While all these interpretations of different color orbs are subjective, they should be approached with an open mind and personal intuition, as well as a degree of skepticism. Cultural backgrounds play significant roles in how the colors may be interpreted. They do help some find comfort, but while not scientifically proven, can be considered one of many tools for spiritual understanding. When an orb changes colors, it is an indication that the spirit's intention is experiencing an energy shift. For example, an orb that transitions from red to blue may suggest a move from a state of alertness to a state of calm. These occurrences are very rare, and skeptics will attribute these changes with an explanation of environmental factors or optical illusions. In addition to color, the shape of an orb can hold significance in the paranormal world. Perfectly round orbs are a sign of harmony, completion, and purity. Their interpretation is balanced energy and the presence of a peaceful spirit. Those that debunk will ask to be mindful of water and possible dust particles in the air. When you see multiple orbs, it can mean a spiritual group presence, community, and strong energy. When multiple orbs appear together, it is often seen as a combined group of spirits. This can occur in a place that has significant spiritual activity. Debunkers will say it is insect swarms and overly dry, moist conditions with dust or water particles present. Orbs with a trail indicate motion, intention, and direction. Orbs that leave trails are believed to be the presence of a spirit with a specific purpose or message. The debunkers, of course, ask to be mindful of flying insects in your camera shot. When capturing orbs, be sure to analyze your photos and videos carefully. Look for consistent patterns or unusual movements that can indicate genuine orb activity. An orb's movement is purposeful. Be sure to study your environment for possible insects that might lend themselves to explaining certain orbs captured during an investigation. Take multiple shots and study them carefully. Orbs have been a fascination and speculation throughout history and across cultures. They have been included in folklore and religious texts. In ancient cultures, orbs were seen as divine messengers. In Celtic mythology, orbs were believed to be fairies and elemental spirits. Elemental spirits were known to be seen in the woods or near water. They were known as protectors of the natural world, and their materialization was a sign of good fortune. Orbs have been known to manifest within an individual's aura, particularly if they possess psychic or spiritual abilities. They may lend them to be able to communicate with energies or as a beacon to spirits who are looking to establish contact. There are people who have claimed to see actual faces in an orb that is captured on camera or even in a video. Spiritual practices such as prayer, healing practices, or worship can create an environment favorable to catching orbs visually. Further, orbs are commonly seen when rituals intersect the boundary between life and death, such as during funerals or moments of passing. Some paranormal groups acknowledge that not all orbs are paranormal, but we also believe that not all orbs are merely dust, pollen, bugs, or other photographic anomalies. And while it is true that today's digital photography technology can increase the chances that a camera's flash reflects dust, moisture, etc., but if dust and the moisture is all around us, why don't we always get orbs on all of our pictures? Sometimes orbs can actually be seen with the naked eye. I have also seen videos people post to various paranormal Facebook groups, videos from their security cameras, where an orb that seems to be walking across the security camera, it has proven that these types of orbs are usually spiders or spider webs that are moving because of the wind, giving the illusion that it may be an orb. I do believe that you can't discount every orb without further research and studying the orbs that are captured during an investigation. Some things cannot be explained away with science. There are tips to capturing orbs on a paranormal investigation. Use a good quality camera, high resolution with powerful flash. Take multiple shots, several photos of the same area to increase your chances of getting an orb. Avoid dust and moisture. Wipe down surfaces and be cautious about shooting in foggy or damp conditions. Always use your flash. Observe insects. Make sure your environment is free of insects and small and large. Use a controlled environment. Conduct your investigation where you can account for all potential sources. Analyze carefully. Look for consistent patterns or unusual movements that could reveal genuine orb activity. Orbs continue to be one of the most interesting yet controversial aspects of the paranormal. They are a glimpse into the unseen dimensions that surround us, while debunkers in the scientific community explain that all orbs are or only dust, bugs, and or moisture. The universe of orb explanation is so big and filled with mystery. As we continue to investigate and debate the nature of orbs, it remains clear that the fascination with these mysterious moving circular objects isn't likely to go away anytime soon. So if you capture a glowing orb in a photograph, take a second to wonder, is there more to this world than meets the eye? Before I end the show tonight, I just want to revisit the mentioning of my favorite paranormal investigative team, the Foreman Brothers. The Foreman Brothers have a YouTube channel called Paranormal Nightmare. They also have a YouTube channel called Chasing Evil. With Chasing Evil, they try to help families solve crimes committed against their family and try to utilize spiritual entities to help provide information as to what happened to someone's disappearance or murder. They have different personalities and approach investigating the paranormal. Together they form a dynamic team of investigators. They try to bring peace and explanation as to why a family is experiencing unusual haunted activity. Woo, time flies. Thanks very much for listening tonight. I hope you enjoyed tonight's episode. I would like to hear from my audience with any experiences you may have had. If you have an interesting paranormal story and would like to be on the show and talk about your experience, please reach out to me at paranormalfrequencies975@gmail.com. I would really like to hear from you. Until next Sunday, my friends, take care, be safe, and stay spooky.